Are we live? All right. Good afternoon out there, Heavener Wolf Nation. Welcome. I'm Ed Wilson, Superintendent of Heavener Public Schools. We just want to welcome everybody today to one of our installments of Facebook Live. As we're going to go kind of bring you an update of we're kind of getting into our first week of school. In fact, we've actually put in a week right now. Today is a week into the 2021-2022 school year. And so we're excited about that. I'm going to go around the table and just kind of let you know who all's here. We got upper elementary principal, Mr. Jeremy Dyer. We got lower elementary principal, Miss Diane Cox. Down at the end down there is high school principal Grant Rawls. We just to his right is Jim Rowe, our athletic director, and then to my immediate left is Brian Terry, high school assistant principal. And today we're just going to kind of kick off a few things, and we're going to let each one of these sites kind of talk to you about some different things, what's going on, within our school system, and just kind of, just to kind of make it an information time, kind of a roundtable here. So, Mr. Dyer, we'll start with you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. To start off with, I would just like to the year. I've really enjoyed getting to know the students and parents in the community. It's been just a great experience getting to know everyone being new. The teachers and I are actively working on and having conversations on ways that we can help support students in academics and any other struggles that they may have. Extracurricular activities are underway. We also are continuing to take precautions on just anything we can to keep students safe at the mid-level, the water filling stations, air purifiers, hand sanitizer, available to students, and also temperature machines at the entrances. In addition to that, the things that are always taking place, locking doors and wearing ID badges as well for student safety. We've also implemented a pilot program of student check-ins at the mid-level, a quick survey that students fill out in the morning. Right now it's at just a small group, but just to stay in touch if students are having issues and ways that we can support them, whether it be concerns about grades, homework, or any other issues that they may be having in the school day. On counseling, New Hope Counseling will be coming in the week of August the 30th, and they will meet that week with 7th and 8th grade. That schedule will be going out to teachers later on, but they'll be coming in to offer sessions to support students. And then lastly, for bus updates, for those who live on Morris Creek or the PJ pickup, those buses have changed. If you were on Morris Creek or at PJ's, you will ride mini bus number 5, and the other change will be if you are on Old Pike or 3rd Avenue East 3rd, you'll be on bus number 2 now. So the routes will remain the same, but Ms. Yeager will be driving bus number 2 on Old Pike and 3rd, and Mr. Scroggins will be on mini bus number 5 for Morris Creek and PJ's. The other bus route change would be route number 3 and Wister Lake Highway. If you ride on Wister Lake Highway, the route will be arriving today and tomorrow 20 to 30 minutes earlier in the AM and PM. And if you're on Independence, it will be 20 to 30 minutes later, AM and PM, and that adjustment was made for safety issues, just to make sure that we're picking up students on the side of the road that's safest in high traffic areas and things like that. We always want to try to make sure we make the stops as safely as possible. But that's all I have at this moment. It's just been a great start. I feel blessed to be a part of the system, and I'm looking forward to the year.
Thank you, Mr. Dyer. Mrs. Cox.
All right. Well, I want to start off, Mr. Wilson, with thanking the parents for going by the schedule that we had for open house. It went real well. The hallways were never packed, it was a smooth flow of traffic. So that went real good for us over in the lower elementary. And then to let the parents know, for those of you that bring your students to the cafeteria or over to my side to go to the playground, my morning duty people get on duty at 7:30. So there is no one there to supervise your children until 7:30, and the cafeteria opens at 7:30. So just to let you know, in case you do leave them earlier, that we get on duty at 7:30. And then If you have, parents, if you have something changed for the way that you want your child to get home out of the normal routine, please call the office over in my building at 653-4313 and let Carla or Jorena get that message, and they will get that to the teacher to let them know. It just keeps from having the classes interrupted so much if you go through the office. And we too have had a very good start. I have the schedule ready for the New Hope counseling, and every 5 weeks, each of my grade levels will have a 30-minute session, and it will be in a rotation of every 5 weeks, and so every 5th week they will have like a 30-minute little mini session with those counselors that will be coming to the school. Another thing that I'm excited about is we have our basketball rotation started with our 4th and 5th graders, and that's going real well. They are going to music and band on Wednesday, so all 5th graders will be have a chance to have a band instrument in their hand before, you know, the end of the year. It takes time, you know, to get it going. They have things they have to learn before they actually get the band instrument. But that has gone well for this first week that we got that started. And then the 3rd meal started Monday, and that seems to be going real well too. The kids are, I mean, they are getting a lot to eat, which is very good because my 1st graders go to lunch at 10:45. So they are ready to eat when that meal comes around, so that's a good thing. And then also in elementary, we too have guidelines for, you know, the germs, to keep that down as much as possible. We have water filling stations, and the kids are using those quite a bit. We do temp checks when they come into the building first thing of the morning, hand sanitizer, safe distancing. And with my classes being self-contained, we do have seating charts, and so, you know, if something happens, then we know if your child was sitting by that person that was either exposed or actually does have the COVID virus. And for just general safety issues, we do keep our classroom doors locked at all times and closed, and our front doors are of course, all of our doors are locked and closed. And buzz in, come see me if there's any questions or concerns that you have. Give me a call or come by the office.
And one of the great new programs over at the elementary too, that they also, you know, in addition to the New Hope counseling, is I believe our athletic department also added 3rd grade basketball.
That's right, yes.
So we have 3rd grade basketball coming up this year, which is a first for us. So we're excited about that. So anyway, all right, Mr. Rawls, high school.
I'll tell you what, it's really started off smooth. We are so excited. We have a whole different attitude and excitement in the high school this year, and we're looking forward to a great year. A lot of new staff members, you know, we've had hired this summer, and we feel like they really helped us out a bunch. Just to go over a few things that we're looking at this year. Also, remind you that students are being fed breakfast in the high school. They do not have to go over to the cafeteria to get it. We bring it to them. It's worked out really well. We've had a lot of success on having a large number of students eating breakfast. We're still working on getting the numbers, because, you know, make sure we get enough food over for everybody. And like I said, it's worked out really well. Also at lunchtime, we've opened up both lines in order to get them through the lines a lot quicker. And it has worked out really well. As Mr. Dyer and Ms. Cox had alluded to, you know, COVID's coming back into play, you know, across the state a little bit. So we also are all working on, you know, keeping things sanitized and clean and doors locked. And understand one thing, your students and yourselves and any faculty or staff member are allowed to wear masks. They do, it's not, you know, it's totally up to them. If they want to wear it, that's fine. If they do not have a mask, we have some in the office that we will provide. So if your student feels like they need to wear a mask, tell them to come by the office and we'll give them one. So, you know, do whatever we can to keep them safe. We do still, you know, we installed the water filling stations this summer, and they're working out well. Air purifiers. So, you know, it's looking good. I know when this COVID rears its ugly head, sometimes we may have to go to DL. You know, we're going to be prepared for it. And, you know, if your student is at home on quarantine right now, they need to make sure they sign into Clever every day so they do not get counted absent, okay? Absences always kind of seem to rear its ugly head early in the year. We're on top of it right now, so if you get a call from us, so kind of expect that. Also, the breakfast and lunch, understand it's free. They need to participate. They need to eat and come and get the food, okay? One of the ways we will be notifying students of anything that's going on is their Chromebooks. I've already sent out several messages to each student. I do a message to them, so they need to keep checking them. They need to take their Chromebooks home. They probably take them home every day, but definitely for the weekends in case something flares up over the weekends and we have to go to DL. Other than that, I'll tell you what, it's going really, really well. So that's where we're at right now.
All right, Mr. Rawls, thank you. Coach Rose.
Okay, knock on wood. Our athletic events are off to a good start. We're not going through all the chaos we had last year. Softball season, our softball kids, junior high and high school, are doing really well. Really proud of them. Next Friday, we open up our cross country. We're going to Gore, and then our high school football, we'll be going to Rock Creek up there by Shawnee. So we're looking forward to that. Also, I'd like to remind everyone about our gold cards. They're $120 for a family, and you can purchase them, and you and your immediate family get in free to all athletic events, except for OSSA playoff games. So encourage you to get them, and it'll save you a lot of money, and we want everybody to come. And the last thing, you probably noticed, we posted on our Facebook and our Heavener webpage that our athletic fields have been invaded by army worms, and a ton of them. So we've sprayed, and hopefully by next Monday we will be able to open up our track and our football and our baseball and softball fields again. So we appreciate your understanding, and hopefully by next week we'll get back to our normal routine.
Sounds good. Thank you, Coach. Terry.
Just one thing, I think Mr. Rawls covered everything, but through our board allowing us, we're going to give a reward, may not be the right word, but we're going to allow juniors and seniors starting the 27th of August to go to off-campus lunch every Friday. There is criteria they have to meet, and parents of juniors and seniors, your son or daughter should have brought a permission, or will need to bring a permission slip home for you to sign so that they can participate in this off-campus lunch. It explains all the rules and everything we'll cover in that. Looking forward to giving these guys a little freedom as they get older, and please fill out the form and sign it so we can have it all on file. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you, Mr. Terry. All right, so what have we've covered a lot of things here in a kind of a short amount of time, but just kind of, there was kind of a theme in there. We talked a little bit about the, about COVID, of course, which was something that we spent a lot of time last year, visiting with too. But here we are again. So let's go ahead and we're just gonna make sure that that we're all on the same page, as a district, with our community and stuff. When you start looking at masking, okay, masking is not mandated. It is not required. However, it is highly encouraged. If you want to wear a mask, feel free to wear a mask. As a visitor, as a student, as an employee, you are welcome to wear a mask. They will be welcomed here, okay? When we look at, different things such as, disinfecting, we have our custodial staff. They're constantly spraying, disinfecting, making sure that, all of our classrooms and all of our PE areas and things, our cafeteria, we're just making sure that we're taking good care of that, and that we're disinfecting. We have hand sanitizers that are provided into our classrooms, and so they're taking sure that they utilize that, because we know that that's all part of wellness. You see what I'm saying? Whenever we look at the washing of the hands, the hand sanitizer, the disinfecting of our rooms, you know what I'm saying? That's all part of a wellness. It's all part of a wellness check. And then we as individuals, we've got to jump in and do that wellness check too. And part of that wellness check is you heard each one of these sites say that, we have temperature checking stations, as the students enter the building. Well, that's something that each parent or guardian can do at home too, because here's the thing, if you're running a fever, whether it's COVID fever, whether it's hay fever, whether it's flu fever, whether it's just, any type of fever, you don't need to be at school, okay? If you have a runny nose, if you have symptoms that are, associated with the flu or the COVID or, even a bad cold, you know what I'm saying? In this day and time, you don't need to be at school. Okay, that's part of reaching out. That's part of that wellness check. That's what we want to encourage. We're going to encourage these things. You know what I'm saying? Reach out, communicate with your side office where your student is enrolled at. Reach out, and just tell them, say, hey, got a runny nose today. So and so's not going to be there. We're going to work with you, okay? Because that's part of keeping us all safe in the broader scope and the broader picture. And so, but if we do happen to have something, there's a couple of terms that are defined out there that you're going to see the state use, you're going to see the health department use, you're going to see doctor's office use, and things like that. So let's start with the obvious. I don't want to, I guess, introduce Captain Obvious here. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But let's introduce the obvious. The obvious is a positive COVID test. All right. That terminology, from a doctor's office, from a county health department, or something like that, is going to be isolation. That's a no-brainer at that point, okay? If you have a positive test, you won't be in school, okay? That's not, that's just, I guess, obvious, If you've got a positive test, you won't be in school. You'll have to follow the protocol set forth by the health department, staying out, until until it runs its course. However, if you've been exposed, okay, that's where you've been in contact. You heard them talk about trying to mitigate ways, in the classroom settings by seating charts, and on our buses have seating charts and things like that. We need to know where those kids are sitting at. So if there is an exposure, if there's an exposure to that, then you're going to get a letter that says, hey, hey, Mr. Wilson, your child has been exposed to, a COVID case. We're not going to say who the case was. We're not going to do anything like that. We're just going to say, though, we're going, because that's our due diligence. Our due diligence is to let parents and guardians know that, there has been an exposure. But if that exposure takes place, then you're going to have to read the guidance that is set forth by the health department, and making sure that, because it tells you what is recommended at that point. And so that's where we want to, so we're going to send that letter out, you know what I'm saying, when we have that exposure. And again, it's just another form of us being able to maintain a certain layered approach to safety, because that's what we're trying to do when we've got the disinfectant, when we've got the hand sanitizer, when we're washing our hands, when we've got the water bottle filling stations now, and when we do the temperature checks. Those are all a layered approach to taking, our health and wellness, you know what I'm saying, and just being proactive. And that's what our district is really trying to do. So anyway, just to bring up a few points of, or just, another point, when you're dealing with a sickness or anything, the school district's point of contact with any sickness is going to be, first and foremost, is going to be our school nurse, okay? And so when we look at that, that's who our point of contact is going to be. That's who our point of contact is going to be with the county health department, and then even to a greater, regional health department, and then even to the state health department. So that is our school contact, our school point of contact. So anyway, so what happens if we happen, we know if you just, you don't have to look very far. You know that there's potential for, for COVID to grow, to outbreak and that type of thing. So what happens if that was, if that happens locally, okay? Well, if we have to, we'll, some of these principals have already mentioned, we may have to move to the distance learning model. And if we do, you know what I'm saying, we'll give plenty, ample notification, but we just know that we have to be ready as a district, but we also need all of our student homes, you know what I'm saying, all of our student body, to be ready to move to a distance learning model if it happens to, be necessary. Okay, so what is distance learning? A lot of people want to just jump out there and say, well, yes, it is internet and it is computers and stuff, but distance learning model can also be, because we know not every home has internet connectivity due to geographic location. So if that's the case, then we still have our paper packet components that we can use, and then most of our students have a Chromebook. We're also exploring, using those USB drives, and so, but we're going to get those lessons in. Now, anytime that we move to the distance learning model, though, you're going to see a notification sent out, through social media. You know what I'm saying? The Hebrew School Facebook page. You're going to receive a robocall, is like what we like to call it. Everybody has to sign into Clever at that moment, okay? Because we don't want to lose a day of instruction. That's why we're moving to the distance learning model. We don't want to lose a day of instruction. And so by doing that, we're going to log into Clever, and that's going to help us to be able to take attendance, and then we can move on with, from that. So now, that brings me to another kind of a side B point here, okay? We realize that not every home has connectivity, all right? The government last year, they were kind of pretty, because COVID was new, they had some funding out there. They allowed districts to apply for what we called hotspots last year, but it was kind of a one and done type of thing. But here's another thing though, there's kind of a spin-off of that, to where a lot of these through a program called E-Rate, there's a lot of these internet providers that are competing for these dollars, to where they provide internet connectivity to homes, like in a community such as Heavener, anywhere else. I'm sure that other communities are kind of going in the same direction, applying for it. So we've been working kind of hand in hand with some of our providers around here, trying to see if that's something that's viable. It's not a school program. It's not ran through the school, but it's kind of an individual program. However, it's a partnership with the school, and so we can see that that's something that's beneficial. So what happens if we do, all right, and you don't have internet connectivity? Well, you can go to any school parking lot and get connectivity. I cannot remember though. Somebody help me out. Do y'all know the connectivity? Was it Wolves exclamation, I believe?
For the password.
Yeah, password. Anyway, we'll get that to you though. But anyway, we would post that if we needed to. But we do know though that any school parking lot that we have on campus will get you connectivity. We have Big Creek Church, Hontubby Church, Forester Church out there in the outlying area that is able to also be a Wolves Wi-Fi parking lot connection. Okay, now it's in the parking lot. They've been gracious enough to partner with us in the past and last year, so we still have that technology available. So anyway, but if that was to happen, of course, we would try to give everybody as much notification as we can, but I hope this is something that we're talking about. I hope this is something that we're preparing for that we never use. But we got to be prepared. I hope we don't use it. I hope we're just talking about it. But we've got to be prepared, guys. And that's just what we're trying to do. We talked a little bit about some of the opportunities, that's going on. I mean, you heard about the third grade basketball, and I think that's really, a great addition to our lower elementary kiddos, and we're so excited that our athletic department and our lower elementary site, they've been working hand in hand trying to get that going. It's been kind of a planning stage for a little bit of time here, and so they kind of got that to where they can make that happen. Also, I think our fifth grade band, dropping them down, getting those instruments, that's been, a lot of times, you think about these plans, but then, boom, there was COVID, last year. So, some of those things kind of get pushed back on the back burner, but we're excited that we got those things headed in the right direction right now. And so that's a couple of great opportunities for our lower, we're excited about. I believe it's first grade, kindergarten through on the school counseling.
It is.
Yeah, kindergarten.
Actually, it's pre-K.
Pre-K through 12. Okay, thank you. Pre-K through 12th grade. Great opportunity. You've heard every site mention the New Hope counseling that we're excited about. That was some federal money that we chased out there this year. It's called the School Counselor Core Grant. And Heaver was fortunate enough that we were chosen to participate in that program. And so now we've got this outside agency. They're going to come in and they're working. You've heard both all of our sites talk about mentioning, scheduling and that type of thing, and it's going to be doing, social, emotional learning lessons and things like that. So, man, we're just excited about that all of our kids are getting that opportunity and to seize that, and so and to take advantage of that as well. And so, that's just an added layer of the educational process, especially, in the midst, and it's a direct result of how our whole society and educational cycle, how we missed some things, last year, as a society, and so we're trying to get that back, and we're appreciative of the state and the federal government for providing those funds for us to be able to jump out there again. And then you look at just like at the feeding program, you've heard each one of these sites. Now, parents, I can't tell you this enough, okay? We can't speak of this enough. There is breakfast free. There is lunch free. There is a third meal free to every student. Take advantage of that. Use those programs. I'm telling you, because when your students take those meals, one, it helps all of our community homes. But second of all, it's going to help your school district as well, okay? That's why we go out there and we chase these programs like that so hard, because it helps our community, but it also helps our school, okay? And so, again, free breakfast, free lunch, and then a third meal that they distribute about, 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock, starts at 2 o'clock, So we really want that to be something that you guys take advantage of, you know what I'm saying? And, and not everybody's probably watching this Facebook Live meeting, and not everybody, not all of the homes are going to probably even see this, you know what I'm saying? But if you see it, mention it to some of your family and friends and say, hey, let's take advantage of that, because, those are great programs, that we're excited about. And then when we talk about a little bit about the, on the segment of safety, you heard them talk about, bus safety. You've heard us talk about as a district, just check-in safety, that type of thing. Well, call, check in, if you receive a call from the, the district, we're just trying to maintain safety and feel like, wellness checks, safety again, that type of thing. Checking in at the office, if you're a visitor, that's a safety thing, bus lights, flashing lights on buses. We seen a cute thing the other day that, we put out on our Facebook page, our social media page, it says, when the lights are flashing, don't be passing, okay? Well, that's pretty catchy, but let me tell you something, there is a whole lot of truth to that, okay? When those lights are flashing, you don't need to be passing, because, the thing about it is, those things are flashing for a reason. Those buses are yellow for a reason, those are transporting kids, those are transporting valuable commodities, our children, okay? And so we want to make sure that they stay safe. And so anyway, and then, I don't know, have I missed anything? Have y'all got anything that comes to mind that y'all might have remembered or thought about?
Football scrimmage tonight.
Football scrimmage tonight, there you go, over at Hartshorn. I believe it starts at 7.
7 o'clock,
I think so.
yeah.
It starts at 7. We're excited about that. But here's
Softball's
Okmulgee today.
Okmulgee Day.
Yeah, softball's at Okmulgee today, Okmulgee tournament, right?
Yeah.
Okmulgee tournament. But guys, listen, okay? We've thrown a lot of things out there, all right? And we're just trying to be prepared, okay? We just want to be prepared, and we want to get the information out, and, and then we're going to work closely hand in hand, with our community and staff. And so we want to thank Craig Hall with the Heavener Ledger for hosting this Facebook Live meeting. Craig, did you have any questions or anything?
Not yet.
No? Okay. I didn't have no questions. All right, then. Well, hey, if you guys need anything, feel free to reach out to any of us here. We're just so appreciative and thankful for our community. And we just want to thank everybody. And again,